Hi YouTube, my name's Dave and welcome to this channel Humble Adventures. In this video we'll be looking at 10 of my favourite things to do in Scotland's capital city of Edinburgh. Now whilst Edinburgh may be a small city, it is certainly interesting and there is plenty to do no matter what your interests. While some of the more obvious tourist attractions such as Holyrood Palace and the Edinburgh Castle may not be in this video, I'm confident you'll find some ideas to consider for your own visit. So I do hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please click thumbs up and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos like this based on other cities. So with all that said, let's jump into the first point in this video, which is the Scottish National Gallery. This art gallery, as most things in Edinburgh, are centrally located. In fact, it's so well located that we actually stopped here on the way from the train station to our accommodation. There's a building directly opposite the gallery with toilets and a cafe and lockers, which was ideal for us going straight from the train station. And the gallery itself, as you can see, displays a wide range of art to satisfy many preferences. Now, I hadn't actually done any research about this gallery prior to getting there. So for me it was a real highlight to go to the top floor and find some impressionist art, including Van Gogh, Monet and Cézanne. So for me, on a personal level, that was the perfect way to start my weekend. The art gallery itself is free. The lockers, there are different sizes of lockers. I believe the small one is £1, the medium one might be £1.50 and obviously a larger one would be £2. Don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely certain. But I do know it wasn't a lot of money and it was certainly convenient for us. So well worth it. Number 2 is to take a stroll down Princes Street, which is one of the two main shopping streets in Edinburgh. Now the chances are you'll have already wandered down a proportion of Princes Street, as it is so centrally located. But it is worth taking a dedicated stroll down in your own time just to enjoy the shops and the views. You've got Nelson's down at the far end. Of course, you've also got the spectacular views of Edinburgh Castle up on the hill, which is actually so grand that it feels as though it's actually following you down the street. And if you do find a shop that you want to stop off at and get some picnic things, then there is a lovely park running adjacent to Princes Street, which is actually between Waverley train station and the Scottish National Gallery, where you can just go and relax and take the stress away from the travel and finding your accommodation. Number 3 is the National Museum of Scotland. Now, I did do a little bit of research about this before we went to Edinburgh, and I'll be honest with you, I was not expecting to enjoy it. However, I can honestly say that I am pleasantly surprised. It's a fantastic museum, and like the Scottish National Gallery, the National Museum is free to enter. They've got nature, they've got science, they've got music, they've got fashion. Honestly, they have everything. And throughout the whole building, they have numerous practical exhibits for the children. Number 4 is something a little bit different. I've not seen it on anybody else's top 10 Edinburgh attraction videos, but we enjoyed it so much that we actually went twice. It's a fantastic way to finish the evening in a relaxed, peaceful environment, and that's at the board game cafe, Noughts and Coffees. The staff here were really friendly, the food was good, the drinks were good, and they had a fantastic selection of board games. What I found really helpful was that on the menu they had a list of the games that they had available, but next to that list, a detailed list of how many players each game was suitable for. All the games were in good condition, there were no pieces missing. The rule books were involved in all the games, and as you can see from the menu, there are some games there which are catered more for the board gamer. However, there are plenty of board game classics, such as Scrabble and Guess Who, and actually we had a couple of games of Battleships. Of course, the food and drink prices depend on what you buy. The board games whilst I was there cost £2.50 per person, but that allowed you to play as many games as you wanted. All you had to do was, once you finished with one game, you take it to the desk and you request another board game from the list, which they then bring to your table. So if you do decide to call in there for a couple of games, and it was this video which encouraged you to do so, please do let them know that it was this video. And who knows, maybe next time I'm in Edinburgh, we'll end up bumping into each other and sharing a game ourselves. So well worth a visit to Noughts and Coffees. Number 5 on this list is to visit Edinburgh Zoo. And I'll give you the heads up right from the start, this zoo is steep. It's built onto a hill. It's manageable, you can easily get around, you will be tired by the end of the day. However, it is well worth it. The animals are kept in pristine conditions, they all have plenty of space, and you can even tell that the staff there love their job. They're all more than happy to help answer any questions you have or direct you to any specific animal you wish to see. And it's only actually about 10 minutes on the bus from Edinburgh Centre. The opening and closing times obviously depend on what time of the year you go. However, you can get a full day there. But if I were you, I wouldn't schedule anything strenuous for the evening because you will be tired. So who knows, maybe you could plan to go to Noughts and Coffees board game cafe after you've been to the zoo. Activity number 6 is to take a stroll up the Royal Mile. Now, the Royal Mile is called a Royal Mile because it is almost exactly 1 mile long, and it runs either up or downhill depending where you're going from and to, with one end being the Holyrood Palace, which is the Queen's official residence whilst in Scotland, and at the other end is the Edinburgh Castle. Both sides of the street are lined with shops all the way up, selling everything you can imagine. If you want whiskey, you've got it. If you want a kilt, you've got it. If you want a rubber duck, you've got it. I did notice a lot of shops were selling things from Game of Thrones. I've never seen it, again that's not my sort of thing, but I'm guessing some of the Game of Thrones might be filmed somewhere in Edinburgh. So if you're into Game of Thrones and you're looking for souvenirs, then certainly you'll find something along the Royal Mile. Of course, when you do get up to the top end of the Royal Mile, which is where the Edinburgh Castle is, you've got stunning views over the city, as well as over towards Arthur's Seat, which is somewhere we would have liked to go, which unfortunately we didn't have time for. Number 7 I've just mentioned, and that is the whisky shops. Now, there are numerous whisky shops and there's also a couple of whisky tours that you can take. Now, personally, I'm more interested in drinking the whisky than seeing how it's made. However, if taking a tour is something you're interested in, then you certainly won't be disappointed with the amount of choice available. What I would say though is that the tours that I did see seem to be quite popular, so it might be worth it for you to ring up in advance and just check availability or even book a reservation. Number 8 is to simply explore the city. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, Edinburgh is a small city. However, you'll be amazed at how much there is to see whilst you're not specifically looking for something and with a time frame in mind. For instance, the Scott Monument is right next to Edinburgh Waverley train station, so you've probably seen it, but not taken the time just to stop and look and learn a bit about it. The same with St Giles Cathedral, that is a beautiful building. And you might have noticed it if you've been along and done the Royal Mile. It's about 3/4 of the way up towards the Edinburgh Castle. But again, it's truly worth stopping and looking and really appreciating the architecture. Also, if you're a hard rock cafe collector, then you'll be pleasantly surprised to learn that there is one in Edinburgh. I'm not going to tell you where it is, I'll leave that for you to discover whilst you're exploring. The 9th thing to do whilst you're visiting Edinburgh is to visit Calton Hill. Amongst other things, Calton Hill is the home of the Nelson Monument, which was a monument built to honour the Vice Admiral Horatio Nelson, the National Monument of Scotland, which was built to honour the Scottish soldiers who died in the Napoleonic Wars, and of course the famous City Observatory. As well as the buildings and monuments, you've also got fantastic views over the city and out towards the coast. In fact, exploring this area was one of the highlights of my weekend. I really enjoyed it. So even if you've only got half an hour left of your weekend, I highly recommend scheduling that to pay a visit. The 10th and final thing on this video of things to do in Edinburgh is to listen to some bagpipe music. It doesn't matter what day it is, what the weather's like, you will find somebody playing bagpipes. So what better a place is there to listen to bagpipes than in the Scottish capital? Thanks for watching guys. I hope this video has given you some ideas of things to do on your own visit to Edinburgh. If you have enjoyed it, please click the thumbs up button. And don't forget to click subscribe if you're interested in future videos like this for other cities.